have coffee. Super important. I have my stylus. Also super important. Domino has the heating pad turned on. Very important. We have to keep the kitty comfy. For she is wee and precious. How folks doing? I just spent a disgusting amount of money at the grocery store for not a whole lot. And I hate it. Thanks, I hate it. What am I looking for? Shiny things. No, not this shiny. We have bubbly water. No! I've been betrayed by my bubbly water. It was excessively bubbly. I am lime scented. Lime scented bubbly. Also, at the grocery store, there was a person parked very poorly, and of course, in a jacked up, oversized truck, completely crossing into my spot. I had U.S. Army license plate frames, and I kind of wanted to leave a note saying, "Hey, go back to the motor pool because clearly you didn't get it." Because yeah. So that's how my day is going so far. Hello, Zin. How we doing today? Also, Panda, how are you doing today? Please give all your doggos some hugs for me. I could use lots of cuddles from big block-headed doggos. Ooh, that's always fun. I don't know where I found this particular photo other than it was on Pinterest, but good job, past me. Good job. Is this something out of Teen Wolf? It looks like it's something out of Teen Wolf. Which, yeah, I'm okay with that too. It's one of those. Oh, I just realized what the characters' faces are. Hmm. That's okay. We're fine with that. I'm trying to figure out what the hell does my hand smell like? Besides soap. Being eluded. Have my bubbles calmed down yet? Yes, my bubbles have calmed down. Is anybody playing any fun games? I got sucked into Dwarf Fortress, which is one of those games that makes me think of games that I want to make. Which is not the worst thing, really. Me forever tweaking these brushes. Mm-hmm. Yep. Is it almost warm up time? It's almost warm up time. Or it's almost spin the wheel time. I've absolutely been warming up. Right now, it's like, I'm really happy with this face right here. Okay, this music is a bit too chill for me right now. I'm gonna have to find something new. Ow! Ooh, excuse me. Excuse me again. Excuse me again. Ooh. It do be snowing outside. also has a link to like what music is allowed on Twitch, right? I know there's like a thing for like copyrighted music on VODs and whatnot. Hmm. Do do do. I swear it's like it's not just dead air, I promise. I'm just using this stuff in the background. Do 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 do. What the hell was I doing? No. Here we are, instrumental. Okay. Do fit the screen. Save. Alright, time to spin that wheel. That's what we want. Okay, so if you are not familiar with this fantastic fun wheel that I made, basically it's a bunch of different ideas for things I want to do as far as random art topics. If you have enough points, you can reserve a spot on that inner wheel there. I think if you just do exclamation point points, you'll see everything that you have available. Which is pretty dope. What else? So if you get on like the RSVP tag, so okay, my brain is functioning. 5,000 points will get you a permanent spot on that inner wheel. You can redeem it multiple times. Each time it comes up, it'll be whatever you want it to be if you're in chat. If not, I'll have like a default if you're not in. So, let me sip my coffee. We're gonna do a spin. Oh, oh goodness. So we get to do design for a webcomic that I want to do. All right. Now, I've done a couple of these over course of streams before. Actually, I kind of already came up with some previous designs. I think the only character I haven't designed yet is... Actually, no, that's not true. I think I have designed. Alright, we're going to do some digging here. So I know I've designed this character before. I haven't visited them. These characters are definitely gone through a thing. Reuben. Reuben. Use this as supporting cast here as well for this comic idea, comic/world setting. All right, good there. I'm going to start my timer here. Jen is trying to tell me about an article of why retirees are quitting retirement because they have to. Retirement? What a concept. All right, timer start. Okay. Why haven't I made a comic yet? Because it scares me. We don't need Ruben. Ruben, come back later, Ruben. You can come back later too, Tall. Let's talk about Joe and Tall. Joanna is your standard unfortunate, not really unfortunate. Joe is your post high school grad working a dead end retail job who wakes up one morning to have a demon hanging around with her. And by hanging around with her, I meaning sharing physical space possession style. Fortunately for her, Tao, the demon, is pretty chill and doesn't terribly interested in doing any shenanigans. He mostly just doesn't want to go back to hell. Or wherever it is he came from. There you go. Now, in this particular world setting that I want to do, it's basically, I think, urban fantasy style, kind of like Dresden, the Dresden Files kind of setup, um, where there's like the human world and then there's the kind of human world. But in this particular setting, um, there was basically a point where the two paths did not cross very often and kind of fell into their own separate ways. Now, in the setting, they have, but there's kind of like so what's a good way to put it? Like a demilitarized zone, as if it were. Of these are where the not quite human folk live now, and those who have been touched by magical powers. Magic being the equivalent of this is just stuff we don't understand, so therefore magic. And therefore, they can go over in this corner. But there's also an instance where the people that have been pushed into those segregated communities have basically organized and said, yeah, that's okay, that's cool. And by the way, y'all can stay out. We don't need you fucking up what you've got because it's been put into very much a self-sufficient community for a bunch of misfits and outcasts. No, I'm totally not projecting. I don't know what you're talking about. And of course, there are bad entities that want to come in and kind of milk this new found information and powers and abilities for their own ends. And there are, of course, people who have decided, no, no, we're not going to let that happen, and self organize in that regard. And I've been kind of using The Sims as a way to kind of play out some story ideas because I'm a dork. And Joe happens to be one of those people that are caught in the crossfire, as it were. It's like, well, I need a job. And they haven't found out I've been possessed by a demon. And of course, there's the whole, some of the conceits of the world setting are very much a, well, what happens when we have proof that demons exist? It's like, well, if demons exist, do angels exist? So there's a very much a kind of most of the time, not even a moral crisis, just more of a, what if these things that we were told aren't true are actually true? We just didn't understand it to be true. So, yeah. So I kind of view Joe as like working at like at a Walmart or something like that, just because I think the idea of somebody who works at Walmart being possessed by a demon is fucking hilarious. Um, I was discussing my own setting, one of them. So yeah, this is one of the things that came up on the wheel was a design for a setting called Cinephore, which is like a postmodern urban fantasy idea that I have. Um, it's just one of those. Well, what if these things that we were told are just myths and fairy tales are actually true? Um, and the implications therein of well, what would happen in these scenarios and like what's the story of those everyday folk? How would these mythological creatures integrate into a society, or would they? And of course, the people that want to take advantage of these new opportunities, and those are like, no, 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 absolutely not. That's not going to happen. Y'all can stay over there. We'll stay over here, and we'll have some sort of controlled scenario. Ginger Ben Ash. Okay, so remind me who Ash Williams is. Ash Williams. Ash Williams. Why do I know that name? And why can't I remember what it is? Oh! I don't think I ever knew his last name, no. Shop Smart. Shop S Smart. No, that would require that Joe be a bit more self sufficient, and she is not. She is a teenager who got caught in a weird weird place. Because the demon that is possessing her is this guy, who does not want to go back to hell. That's basically the crux of their relationship. Is she doesn't want to go. He doesn't want to go back to hell. She's just trying to live her life. So they've kind of like um, come to an understanding of sorts. Now the other characters are where are they? So we have Joe, who's the person that we're talking about right now. Tal, the demon that is possessing her, but it's mostly kind of like there is a fascinated passenger, I guess. He's very much a distractible. Ooh, shiny! What's that? Tell me more about this grinder you speak of. Maribel, who is this person right there? She is a retired hunter. Hunter in this as the aspect of hey, I used to make sure that those creatures that did escape into the human world got taken care of. But she's basically it's like I just want to go to fucking Disneyland, but the event that made the fantastical world and the human world intersect now kind of made her a de facto leader in all of this, and she's definitely on the side of the fantastical, just because she's seen enough shit that she's like, no, no, we won't be doing this. Annalise, who is the botanist, but once this big event that caused things to kind of smoosh together again, she gets more druidic powers. Ruben, who is this last guy on the end here, he is a person who is caught basically in a time bubble, like early 80s, pre AIDS. Um, he was a roadie for a punk band and got bit by a vampire but in that process somehow got trapped in a bubble, and is now basically trying to adapt to the modern world while also being a vampire. So I love dysfunctional family stories, and that's basically what this is. What other? What's my other cast that I've got here? Okay, it's Joe and Tal again. Tal. So I actually wrote a short story about Joe and Tal. I'll link it here in a minute. These are some more supporting characters, which is a Lamassu and a Sphinx at the salon. Again, it's like how do mythical creatures adapt to a modern world and modern conveniences and modern settings, and basically it's just a fun way for me to kind of play around with that idea. One of the ideas I had for the setting was I have an idea. It's called "What Sims Do in the Shadows," because I'm kind of using the Sims as a way to like tinker around with like story ideas because it's fun, um, and because I can. And it's basically six creatures, including one human, to basically live in the thing. Yeah, so it's just let me tinkering around, having fun. Because I can. Somewhere around here I have the short story. Bum, bum, bum. Oh, okay, well I found copy. No, that's not what I wanted. Here's one short story. Do 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 do. And that one deals specifically with Joe and Tal, and that's where I introduced them, and you get an idea of who they are. Now, as I said, it's like I want to make a comic out of it, but at the same time, comics scare me. Mostly because there is a means, method, and format to paneling and whatnot that I just don't grok as of yet. And that's one of those things that I like. If I sat down and did it, I would. But also at the same time, writing has been particularly painful over the last X number of years for a variety of reasons, mostly due to having to write on a deadline for so many years has really kind of killed a lot of that creative writing urge. And I'm one of those people who's like, I need to have the story figured out if I'm going to do any sort of like paneling, because there's a way to do it, and it's yeah. Anyway, I want to do it, but I'm scared to do it. This was what comes down to. And yes, Tull wanders around mostly naked because he doesn't see the point. You can't. Nobody else can see me anyway. But I don't want to see you naked. Ah, too bad. So yeah, this is this particular trio. And the setting is kind of like it's like a postmodern kind of setting. The people in Semaphore, which is what they call their community, is basically kind of like a solar punk kind of scenario setup. Uh, because they figured out a way to make it work. That's far too many fingers. Um, um, with the help of the magical creatures and yeah, Joe and Tyler are still discussing things like boundaries. How it's important to have them when you're a passenger. So at this point, Joe is basically trying to figure out a way to get to Semaphore before somebody finds out about Tal. Because Semaphore is kind of like a neutral zone kind of scenario. It was very chilly outside when I went to go grocery shopping, which was 'twas unpleasant. Yeah, another one of the plot things of Semaphore is that those that are already a bit touched, like Mirabelle, for example, being a retired hunter, or suddenly got their abilities like supercharged. And that was again another one of the plot elements of okay, so this happened. So what do we do about it now? Um, yeah, So I like the premise. Again, it allows me to really play around with a lot of like the mythological elements I like to think about. Like another one of my like my like the piece that I did for one of my classes this semester is also very much based on that kind of idea of like, well, how do you as an immortal creature with magical powers, how do you adapt in this kind of scenario? And what does that look like? It's like, well, luring people in with lanterns just isn't cutting it. What about we lure them in with free Wi-Fi and good cell phone signal? There's also this element of like, I go back to like being scared of making a comic. Of like, how detailed do I want to make it? Of like, do I want to go like full American comic style? Do I want to do a more looser, cartoony style? There's a lot. It's like I don't know where that is yet. Like I have like all my like text treatments figured out. Like I know what fonts I want to use. I have like a title design for this, but sitting down and actually doing it is another thing. Oh, more things about how the wheel works, or the how the wheel works is if you want me to keep working on something, you can redeem time by doing exclamation point redeem. That will let you use your channel points to make me keep working on a thing. Or if you want to make me do something else, you can make me spin. Again, that's all under the redemption options. So, want me to keep doing this? Want me to do something else? Here. Items. RSVP will get you have a permanent place on that inner wheel, which Ali Hallie has already put their hat in the circle, as it were. Looks like he's doing the finger guns here. I kind of want to make Tao look like that. It's like, here's Lucifer, like the hot Lucifer statues. That's basically what I wanted him to look like. He's not Lucifer, for the record. Ruben, once he hears about what Grinder is like, damn, wish we had that. Thank you. Mais beret. Thank you very much. So, not a hat, but a beret. Excellent. We love that. Your beret is very stylish, and I kind of want to do a kobold wearing a beret now. It reminds me of a comment that I saw on Threads. The King Arthur baking account, which is hilarious for the record, talked about putting a baguette in a stocking. And they meant Christmas stocking, but my fucking ass thought baguettes in like silk stockings? What? I love the idea of psychopomps. Um, it's a very much a classical kind of scenario. All right, once more, another spin because it is Fuck Around Friday. All right, what's next? Fantasy fashion. All right. I like this. This is good. All right. Now, what do I mean by fantasy fashion? I always feel like psychopomps are like ghosts and spirits with a job. Like, all right, fuck, come on, let's get you to the other side. All right, where do you need to go? Okay, we'll make that happen. All right, fantasy fashion. What the fuck do I mean by fantasy fashion? Fantasy fashion is where I take a fantasy race, like a tiefling. I haven't done a tiefling in a while. Oh my god, that sounds like a lot of fun. Or y'all can choose. And I put it into some sort of fashionable outfit. Historical fashion, haute couture, modern day, something like that. It's kind of along the lines of what I'm doing with my pinup calendar. So I think I want to do a tiefling. But what era of fashion are we talking about? So I've always been interested in fashion and fashion design. but I never pursued it or looked into it because I fell into the "it's too girly, therefore people won't take me seriously" trap, which is stupid and wrong, but you know, society. So, the question is, what era? What century? See, my inclination is to go like Shakespearean, but also we can absolutely go modern fashion. I think I want to do that because I haven't done that in a while. I do tend to go for um, historical just because. Just because. Let's do haute couture. Let's search my pins. Do more ideas. So it's like a lot of stuff that like ends up on the runway for haute couture. It's like stuff that we'll never see at a department store. But man, just absolutely fascinating shit. Alright, let me share some of the shit I'm looking at. CSP. This is some like Urte shit right here. I love it. Oh, really? Well, we're gonna have to look at that. All pins. Four. Oh, dude. I mean dude in like a gender neutral way too. This like screams Athena right there. Tiefling or ASMR. That's definitely the vibe I'm going for here. Man, you were right about it. Looking fantasy already. Let's do Chaparral Winter. This outfit right here reminds me of like a bullfighter. I love that. Yeah, it's not my, it's like not my hyper focus either, but it's like I find it enjoyable and entertaining. It's like judging people for their Met Gala looks. It's like the chances of me ever attending a Met Gala in any way, shape, or form are it's pretty nil. But at the same time, you know what? I kind of like this outfit. What about this? Oh, copy image. Oop. Also, this quote is pretty baller. Yeah, I'm here for it. It's like, oh yeah, it's like I'm in the same boat. It's like I just find it fascinating. But also, it's like at the same time, I understand like a lot of the like the core concepts are pretty same because I mean at the same end of the day, it's art, you know. And I understand art pretty dang well. There's a certain like aesthetic and symmetry and balance. Well, not necessarily symmetry, but a certain like aesthetic and balance that goes into it. Yeah, the art part got that down. I like that. Not a hyper focus, but we like so one of the YouTubers I follow commented that Schiaparelli is very much a we like to dress people over 30, and I'm here for it. Oh, see if I can remember. Is it Schiaparelli or am I thinking of somebody else? Dang it, I can't remember. I like that hat. I'm gonna borrow that hat. Boop. Who was like my favorite new model that I was looking at? Oh, who's that model? Gosh dang it. This model is just absolutely stunning. Like, I can't, I can't even with how pretty she is. And apparently she's like not like 9 heads tall or something like that. It's like that perfect uh perfect fashion model thing. On call. What up? But yeah, no, this model is absolutely stunning, and I love it. I love all of her appearances. Anyway, okay, put that back over there. I will check that out after stream. How you doing, friendo? Aw, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And Domino will definitely appreciate it as well. If she ever deigns to wake up from her nap. Does she? No, she's not laying on the undercover. Undercover. Kitty! We do that classic contrapposto. Just hand pose like, had to do it to him. Fucker's dead. Had to kill him. He just fell onto that knife like 13 times. Don't know what happened there. How are your kitties doing? And how is your lady doing? We have not chatted in 30,000 years. Oh, better question is what kind of tiefling? Do you want to go classic, demonic, tiefling? Those are always fun. Oh, sorry to hear about your kitty's passing. I know that is always fucking rough. I'm sorry to hear about the long COVID too. That shit is rough. Minis! Yeah, I'm trying to keep my shenanigans to a minimum this holiday season. It's like I'm trying to recharge for the spring semester because I'll be taking 6 classes in the spring and teaching. So I kind of like, I gotta be careful what I'm saying. Minis and hibernate, that sounds dope. I'm so pleased to actually be able to use all my like miniature painting skills for one of my pieces this semester. That made me feel good. Let's go for like a traditional goat demon. Goat demon lady. Good old cloven hooved. Oh, snap crackle pop. Well, you must say hi to your lady for me on call. I miss all your faces. Although I'm like one ocean away from saying hi to Canada. Not even ocean, a lake. Not exactly skipping rock distance, but aw. Well, it reminds me, I need to install Baldur's Gate 3, I think. Since my brother was kind enough to gift it to me. Because I could use a good RPG to drown myself in for a while. I am praying for may all your loot be not junk. So one of the things I'm excited about the fact is that the fact that one, my brother is the person who introduced me to D&D and role playing games. So for all the gaming related shenanigans, it's entirely his fault. Um, Two, the fact that Baldur's Gate has a co-op mode is deeply interesting to me. Because I gifted my brother a copy of Baldur's Gate earlier this year. And the idea of being able to do co-op with my brother with Baldur's Gate is a fantastic thought. Also, he basically gifted me some of my favorite games. Like, he gave me a copy of Mass Effect Legendary Edition, which again is on my playlist. Because apparently I feel the need to cry in a video game. Which of course I also did with my other game of the year, essentially, which is Cyberpunk 2077 with the Phantom Liberty. That made me fucking cry. It's like, how dare this piece of pixels and media and music make me cry? How dare? That was basically playing it was my graduation present to myself, because I knew, I was like, I can't do open world games when I've got school actively going on. That's just a bad idea. Because then I won't get my schoolwork done. Because they know me. So last time I looked at goat feet. Again, these are the questions that I ask myself. When was the last time I looked at goat feet? Images. Dear FBI agent that is watching, I swear I'm just an artist. I promise it's not anything weird. I heard Balatro was good. Apparently there were some like Easter eggs in there for Cyberpunk. And they did a thing. No, that's not what I wanted. Boop. Also, I think I forgot to set my timer for this, so we're just gonna go with it. Question: if you had hooved feet, would you paint your hooves? That's the question for the chat. My answer is a resounding yes. So I stopped playing WoW at one point. This was like shortly after I moved to Washington to work at Paizo. And I had that moment of I got a offer to do some freelance work, and I was like, I can either play WoW or I can do this freelance work. That freelance work was doing some conversion for Tome of Horrors for Frog God. So stopping playing WoW to work on that was very lucrative. And I just don't have the time to play MMOs really. Nor the budget, really. That's the other thing. Our tiefling is definitely going to have goat eyes, right? Also, those royalty checks from Frog God were really great. I missed them. Oh yeah, absolutely. I say, well, the holidays are a good time for mindless fun. I was doing, I say, well, it's not really exactly mindless. I was playing Dwarf Fortress, which wasn't exactly mindless, but you do kind of can get caught into the weeds there. All right, since we're going with the goat theme, let's gonna give her the floppy goat ears. Yeah, hooves with scrimshaw. Yeah, well, so the thing is especially with hooves, is they keep growing. So you could, like, change your scrimshaw with the seasons. You know? What's the seasonal scrimshaw at this point? What the hell am I doing with these eyeballs? Yeah, definitely, absolutely. So one of the weirdest things, like rabbit holes I ever fell into on TikTok, is um, they're like go in and like do like hoof trimmings for like cows and horses and whatnot. Specifically, this guy was specifically working on cows, especially for the ones that were like something was wrong with their hooves and they couldn't walk on them or like favoring it. How I ended up on that side of TikTok, no idea. But I learned more about hoof trimming than I ever thought possible. And some of the disgusting parts of hoof care as well. So again, somehow I ended up on that part of TikTok. Yeah. Hats are hard. Holy crap. Where's the hat? Where's the brim? Where's the. I had to pick one item of clothing that I hate drawing, it's hats. Yeah. Sure, a lot of people would think that just growing up on a homestead would be the best thing ever, and I'm like, you clearly have not actually had to do any work on a ranch or a farm or any sort of scenario like that. Because there's no such thing as vacation. You don't get a break from you know you don't get a break from that. I remember wanting to spend time with one of my friends in middle school, and she was like, I can't because I have to take care of my horse. And she was somebody that was her horse was like a competition jumper, and she's like, I don't get any free time. This is my life. And that was my point where like, I never want to own a horse. Or any sort of large mammal. Could I take care of one? Yeah. Do I want to? Absolutely not. So I know what happens. At some point, you're going to have to care for them, and it's going to get ugly. I do like the idea of aquaponics, though. Mostly because they're kind of a self sufficient thing once you get it set up. Alright, so now we have our cutie here. I took care of that. Board. In other news, my sculpture instructor was very happy with my piece this semester. And it made me happy because that was a hard class for a lot of reasons. Mostly because I was working in metal this semester, which is a bit of a struggle, quite frankly. Because on one level, there's like an element of just learning the material, which is harder than you might think. But at the same time, it's not as inflexible as you would think as well. Okay, we need to fix her nose. Or rather, shape it to the way I want. Mm-hmm. And since a lot of my art process is more intuitive, it was getting to a point of being comfortable to be intuitive with the metal. Which I finally got to a point where I was. Also, she was really good at my instructor was really good at kind of helping me out with like artist statements because I fucking hate artist statements, okay? The thing I hate the most about being an art major is having to write an artist statement because it's hell. But she actually gave me some really good advice. It was just like, just don't sweat it. I'm like, okay, cool, great in theory, but I'm sweating it. She's like, no, just make it like a stream of consciousness thing. You don't have to go into like the process or making of it because that's necessarily what an artist statement is about, right? Because I always wanted to go into the process and the making of and all that stuff. And she's like, just do like a stream of consciousness, what you're thinking, what you're feeling about the piece. And man, that's like, oh, and everything finally clicked. So that helped tremendously, and I finally feel like I figured it out this semester. After what was it 4 years being an art major? Kind of like the idea of this tiefling having like those super thin kind of 20s eyebrows. Just feels like it suits for some reason. Mm-hmm. That's because we can. Your little beauty mark right there. Yep. Yep. Yeah. Why is my phone talking to me? Oh, she did. Oops. Okay. It's probably one of my more favoriteest brushes that I made for myself. I call it Bleeding Inks because it's got a bit of a outline jitter to it and kind of makes my inks not quite as clean. Let me show you a comparison here. See, that's my usual ink. Dang, phone. Can be all loud and shit. I apologize for my phone being very loud. Mama Yaga is speaking. Well, speaking of jobs and whatnot, there is like a perfect job that showed up in Seattle that like fits everything I want to do and is like public and community facing. It's just like a year too soon. Say, can you still have this in like a year? Can we do that? How about that? Might have to apply for it anyway just because. Yeah, I'm not stopping my degree. I can't. At this, well, it's not that I can't. I refuse to. Come far too far to stop it now. And I was thinking about this the other day, in light of all my financial troubles and woes, and like, he's like, do you really need your degree? I was like, well, I don't need it. I want it. On some levels, like, to tell all the haters of, like, I did this thing, even though you told me I couldn't. And sometimes the people that need, that need this, that tell me that I couldn't have done it, sometimes that person's myself. And at the end of the day, that's the thing, you know? So the people who care about me wouldn't necessarily care if I got the degree or not. But I want it. I want it, precious. Like a large part of it is for me is the momentum. It's like getting that ball rolling to start going back to school was so hard. Um, yeah, given the number of times that I've tried to go back to school, um, and got stopped for any number of reasons. Um, so starting and stopping, starting and stopping, starting and stopping. It's like that overcoming that inertia was the hardest part. Um, so like I don't want to stop because I know how hard it was to start it back up again. And quite frankly, I really like the school environment, um, especially having access to all these resources that are hard to come by outside of the academic setting. Um, there is a PhD program that I'm looking at in University of Washington. But pardon me for the cough. Um, but it is a PhD program, and I know that involves a lot of writing, and writing is one of the hard parts lately. Though, hopefully, with that tidbit that my sculpture instructor gave me, that will diminish. So one of my problems with also with clothes and inking is I want to make sure to emphasize the stitch lines and top stitching. I mean, track to finish. Yeah, I'm actually the first person to um, go to grad school. I don't think my dad ever finished his bachelor's degree because he didn't need to. He had enough experience from um, being in the Air Force that there wasn't any need for him to go. Um, my mother is incredibly intelligent, but also never had quite the opportunity to go. I don't think. I know my mom would say she's not smart. She is smart. Hmm. Boop, boop, boop. Boop, boop, boop. Just not to say. So I'm not poo-pooing anybody who didn't finish their degree. Absolutely the fuck not. It's not. I would never. So we all don't. We all don't or couldn't finish it for any variety. What the hell? Thank you. Chose not to or couldn't for any number of reasons, and I don't want to be that person. Same time, we've also created a culture where it's fucking hard. Shit's hard, yo. It's like we create this environment of like on some level we expect people to figure out what you want to do for the rest of your life going into college, and that's horrible. Yeah. Sometimes we need that push to finish, you know? But like the number of kids that are in college right now doing a program they hate, they don't care about because it makes money is an unfortunate amount, let me put it that way. Like, you're pursuing a degree in a field that you don't really care about, aren't passionate about, but we're told this is a good degree for money. And I'm like, on one hand, I understand because capitalism. But the other hand, why would you do that to yourself? And I know I have the luxury of being able to, of being older to be able to say that, but at the same time, it's not worth it. Not worth spending all that time and energy on something you hate or dislike. I'm only half joking when I say that I like to teach. Okay, so the grad students have an opportunity to teach in a program at my grad school called ArtX, Art Exploration. And it's basically a way for non-majors to come in and play in our playground. That's the way I like to frame it. But I'm only half joking when I say I want to get people excited to change their major. Because if I can get you excited about a particular art form where you are excited to be doing it and you can see yourself continuing to do it, it's a win-win for me. Because at the end of the day, that's what I want. But at the end of the day, it's also okay if you decide you don't want to do it. I mean, life is nothing but change, but... Oh god, yeah. Like, bless those professors who say, hey, if you aren't comfortable treating X person as a... If you're not comfortable treating somebody who's gay, you know, or any number of things you can be discriminatory against, find another field. Or better yet, don't. Just avoid anything that is even remotely public facing. Or really, just do better. Because even if something isn't public facing, those biases can come into whatever it is you happen to be doing. Like software design. Like, man, I did a report one time on there's a particular piece of software that basically looked at someone's criminal record and determined recidivism rates, which is basically, will this person commit another crime? And unfortunately, because the data that it used was based on, you know, existing criminal data, which we know is biased, because of systemic racism, it basically came to the conclusion that all these, black men were going to commit another crime, and unfairly penalize them because, you know, legal systems were using them as a basis to determine sentencing. And it's disgusting and eye-opening. But that's an example of how unknowing biases can just enter into the system, and we don't even think about it. And if a person is biased, they can unwittingly put those biases into the systems they create, which is why they should always be worthy of scrutiny. Looking at you, healthcare system. For reasons. Yep, garbage in, garbage out. And it's like, I want to frame this particular thing where it was like a slide from IBM in like the 1950s, and it's basically basically the conclusion is like the phrase was like, computers can't be held accountable, therefore computers should never be like in charge of like a managerial decision or something like that. I want to frame it. Also, if my like account gets nuked on Meta, please know it's because I told Zuckerberg to get fucked. I want him to know it's me. Because he made a comment about, oh no, woe is me, I have to make my employees push AI stuff. It's like, get fucked, nobody asked for this. Except your goddamn investors. So yeah, if my Meta accounts get nuked, you'll know why. When I tell you my fuse has been short lately, that's what I mean. Oh, yeah, exactly. Exactly. Man, the number of doctors who were like convinced, 100% convinced, that my problems would just go away if I lost weight. Which is like, okay, sure, I'm sure the stress on my joints would go away if I lost weight. However, I'm here to refill my medication for my antidepressants. And that is honestly a more pressing concern. Oh, like, I need to figure out my medication situation here in New York because I am out of all of my medications. And on one level, I can in theory, I can live without my antidepressants, can live without my anti-anxiety meds, but come to the conclusion that my ADHD meds can help keep those other symptoms at bay. And guess what is a bitch and a half to try and get filled? Because it's a stimulant, and because it has meth in the name. Even though they're like, not even remotely. No, I say not even remotely. They're not the same. Let me tell you how excited I am about that. Let me do this real quick. Let's see. There. Exactly. Also, as we've determined, BMI is fucking racist. Um, doo doo doo. Can I actually join this? Okay. Also that. So it's like, how much heartache could I have spared myself growing up? You know, just that. Like it's like I will never, ever, ever have the figure of a ballerina, of a petite 5'2" woman, like my grandmother insisted I should be. Ever. It's just literally not how I am structured. And yet that was the expectation she had of me. And the number of like traits and features that I inherited from my grandmother are a lot. It pisses me off every single day. She was not a kind woman. Meters squared to assess a three-dimensional object. Yeah. Yeah. I finally gotten to a point for myself that I'm like, I don't even want to be like skinny or thin or anything like that. I just want to be healthy and be able to lift bull and be strong and fight bears. Which is honestly just a side effect of doing metal sculpture at this point, or any kind of sculpture. Just it's like, do you go to the gym? No, I go to the I go to art class. The same thing in working in ceramics. It's like, no, I just wedge 50-pound blocks of clay all day. That is a workout, my friends. There was a point that I just gotten like my flu shots. I made the mistake of doing. I don't say it was a mistake because science is awesome and we love it. We love vaccinations. I got my flu shot and my COVID booster shot on the same day, one in each arm. And then the next day, when um, I went to the studio to work on to do some like clay wedging, and my body was like, "You think? Well, that's not happening." I hit the gym like you used to in high school. That's not happening. You're like, are you just one of those people like, did you go to the gym in high school or no? racquetball twice a week. Yeah, my gym classes were marching band because they let me count marching band as a gym class because let me tell you how much of a workout holding around a bass clarinet in a polyester fucking band uniform in Texas heat is. And anybody who says marching band isn't athletic can kiss my ass. Yeah. Um, the only I had to take a PE class my senior year, and like I went to 3 different high schools in 4 years. When I tell you I was done with school, my senior year, I was fucking done with school. Like, well, you need to take you need to take PE. He's like, you need to take 2 PE classes. Like, well, that's not gonna happen. Let me tell you why. First of all, no. Second of all, fuck you. Um, because trying to get everything kind of like these are the classes that I took. This is why they counted as a PE. Have you been to Texas? Do you know what the humidity is like in May? Um, so that was a thing. So I ended up taking weightlifting because that was the only one that even vaguely interested me. Because I ended up going to the same high school my mom did, just 20 years later. And she took like fencing and archery and guess what wasn't around by the time I got to it? Fencing and archery. Because I would have taken those in a hot minute. So I took weightlifting instead. Because again, it was the only one that even remotely interested in me. And yes, doing squats was the easiest. Because strong like bull. Bull who lip bears. Then punch them in the face. Yeah, I had the same situation in my senior year as well. Because again, 3 different high schools, 3 different graduation requirements, and by the time I got to my senior year, the graduation requirements were a fucking joke compared to the other ones I was dealing with. So it was basically just all electives because I didn't have a car, so I couldn't really go anywhere. And that was not a town that you could do anything in if you didn't have a car, especially for where I lived at the time. So it's like, I guess I'll just fill my time with some electives. So I took orchestra, because music. Um, Ooh, hello. I just went too far. I took orchestra art, because, duh. EP Bio 2, because I'm a nerd. And it sounded like fun. It's like I didn't need to take it, I just wanted to take it. Actually, like one of the classes I did take, which, was very formative to me, was combination graphic design and print shop class, which like the first half of the year was graphic design. Then you could go on to do print shop, which was basically learning how to do all the various offset printing and bindery equipment and all that fun, exciting stuff that I've always been fascinated by. But it also was a way to like get a job right out of high school, which I did. I paid $12 an hour in 1997. Man, I bought a lot of D&D books. What can I say? And then my life fell apart, but we won't get into that. So that was fun. Then I took it was a dual class of AP Western Civ and English Lit, which was basically a class that basically said, okay, here's the type of literature we'll be talking about and discussing and learning about, but also here's the historical context in which it was created. And I wish more classes were taught like that, because it kind of really helps with the understanding of what was going on at the time and why this is such a seminal work. And William Faulkner can still kiss my ass. I hated the piece that we had to read, which was The Bear, for the record. It was just bad. And no, thank you. Do not like. Yeah. Yeah. Having to do a math class in college was hell. Because I think what did I end up doing? Like survey of mathematics. Which I think one of the coolest things I learned was the different base counting systems. It's like, oh hey, would you like to learn how to count in how they counted in Babylonian? Like, sure, that sounds hella cool. That's probably the best part of that class. Like how to use different base notation. I think that was pretty cool. But yeah. My art class in my senior year was basically like an independent study, which basically equated to we sat in the back and listened to the radio and worked on our projects. So, kind of like my life right now. And remarkably, it bears a remarking similarity to grad school studio right now. Which may have been the point. No, it may have been her point. I think this is what college art classes are going to be like, and I'm in retrospect saying, no, you're not wrong. Phew, fit the screen, baby. Okay. Ugh, yeah, see, it's like the teacher. It's like the fact that teachers go out of their way to make a student's life miserable is so stupid for a lot of reasons. It's like you inherently have power in that situation, and it's which never got verified. I don't think it was meant to be. But at the same time, it's like, what are you trying to prove here? Like, who are you trying to prove anything to here? No, that's not what I wanted. Not a radio curve. Not what I wanted. Not what I wanted. Balls. Do we still have? Yeah, it's just. Ellipse. I need an ellipse file attached to window. Boop. Excellent. Boop. Let me turn this back on real quick and see what I'm doing. Alright. So I'm using a program called Lazy Nezumi, which is which is basically another really cool tool to handle various shapes clearly. I'm gonna put on a new layer. This makes me happier. That'll make me happier. Yep. Oh. Oh, ugh. So bad. Boop. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I like to use Lazy Nezumi when I don't want to deal with shenanigans in Coop Studio, because sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just don't. Beep. That's too far. Nope. Time for another fun trick. Why do we use vector lines? That's exactly why we use vector lines, my dudes. That's exactly why. So we can manually adjust any thickening, any thick needs that we might have. Yeah. My sculpture professor that I mentioned earlier, she gave everybody a chance to like resubmit works, and my midterm was like 25 out of 100, which was not good. But she was like, "Here's what you need to do." This is where the whole thing with fucking artist statements come in, because it just it gets to that point, and I'm just like, I'm done with the piece. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Any sort of thought processes I may have had with it are long gone. That's the point I was kind of really struggling with. Like, how do I work with this? How do I work in metal? How do? But she gives everybody a chance to like resubmit, and I did. Once I figured out artist statements and how I wanted to do them. And it went from a 25 to an 85, which is how I have an A in that class right now. Ugh. Alright. What do we think of our fancy lady? Is she fancy enough? Selected layers. Okay. Okay, fine. Yeah. Yeah, how finals are handled in art is always, or like how finals week is handled in art is always interesting, because a lot of people like stress cram for a final exam. Like, that's not how fine arts works. Fine arts is a you should have been working on it all semester kind of thing. Because there's such a heavy time component in fine arts projects. It's like you can't cram the night before for it. That's not gonna work. Here, I thought you finished that part of the leg. Will. Oh boy, here we go killing again. Alright, view, fit the screen once again. Crammed for data structures? Oof. Sounds terrible. Alright. My coffee is gone, y'all. Sad day. That's the only coffee I've had today, but I also woke up late. She looks very smug. Okay, finally figured out what the smell was that was been bothering me. It's my like pet pressure. Ugh. Yeah, it does try the stress test. Blech. Blech. I mean, on some level, I was like, well, we do some other things in art, so not that terrible. Just in the course of the moment, it always sounds like a lot, you know? It's like, it's the whole, to an outsider, this sounds like hell. I mean, and to an insider, it still sounds like hell, but at least you understand the process better. What's the translation of haute? Like in haute couture. They looked that up for me. So I have a pun I want to make, and I would want to know if it was applicable or not. Because I'm a dork. Above. Okay. Oh, yeah, no. You shouldn't wait for the day before it's due to put your project in the kiln. Yeah, no, that's gonna end badly. The kiln gods will listen, and they're gonna make your piece go boo boo. And if you really pissed off the kiln gods, they're gonna make everybody else's pieces go boom boom too. Okay, so if a tiefling comes from the hells, they would be putting, they would, it would be hot fashion, not haute fashion, or haute couture. Oh wait, high or senior? Okay. See if haute mean like hot or like latest or newest. See, they would be putting the haute in haute couture. Kind of make myself laugh sometimes, you know. Okay. Mm. Okay. Yeah. Mm. Okay, what if you were stoned? Then he could be putting the haute in haute couture. Eh? Eh? How about that? It's the little things that keep me sane. Nope, that's not it. Not the right one. Also not the right one. Also not the right one. I suppose that's a good sign that every time I like do a thing, I'm like, not what I want. And it's like, but I made a thing that does it perfectly the way I want, and it's the one I go to. I suppose it's a good sign. Defaults. What did they put in that lembas bread? Hi, baby. Is there something I can help you with, my darling? Oh, your toes are so warm. Why are your toes so warm, my dear? Because you've been sleeping with them tucked under? She says, yes, mother. My toes are warm. For I have been napping. No, don't complain about not having any food. I gave you food. No, it's not the button I wanted. Deselect. Okay. I gotta go too fancy with this coloring. Just enough to get an idea. Yay! Oh my gosh, it's Imperial. Hello. I got distracted, and by distracted I mean like hyper focused, like you do. How you doing tonight, Imperial? Please tell Gingerble happy birthday to me, from me, from me. Yes, that's the right word. Yeah. Oh, please have a safe trip home, Ellie Hallie. I appreciate you stopping in. Hyper focus. Focus never met her. Hyper focus do know her. She is an unexpected guest 90% of the time. Just about finishing up this particular character here, which is my haute couture tiefling, which was a blast. Oh, you've been home. Just have errands. Oh, well then. Well, I hope your errands are free of fuckery. How's that? Because mine were not free of fuckery. Mostly due to people who don't know how to park. I'm happy I got my errands done before it started to snow too heavy, though. Although it was snowing when I left the parking lot. It's just not nearly as bad as it could be. Definitely learning the right times to do my shopping around here. Well, it was freaking crammed today. Like, it's 2 o'clock on a Friday. What the hell? And I was like, oh, right. 2 o'clock on a Friday before the holiday weekend. Gotcha. Dope. Snow! Exactly. It snowed. So when are you and Generbly gonna come out this way to visit the family? Because that would be really dope to be able to see y'all. Ooh, yes. That would be amazing. I think my last day of class is end of April. So that would be really cool. April feels like super, super soon for semester, but the semester starts back up on January 13th. June. Lol. Yes. Gonna make it full of art. All the arts. All the farts. As my mommy would say. Full of the parts. figure out what do I want to do after stream. Oh, it'll be fun. Do I want to play some video games? Yes. Yes. Of course, the question is, what video games? My brother very kindly, generously, wonderfully gifted me a copy of Baldur's Gate 3, but I would need to download that. And it's like, ooh, where did I put it on my computer? Because it's a thirsty, thirsty game for all that delicious, delicious memory. It's also time for Mass Effect replay. Feeling the need. Do I want to do one more spin? So Imperial. Ooh, yeah, Marvel Rivals looks fun. Thank you for doing that raid into Pearl Tease because watching her play was a delight. But let me, I think I'm finished with this. Fit to screen. All right, there we go. So I have a thing called the Wheel of Creativity, which is basically you can use channel points to make me work on something from my wheel here. To this one that I just did with the tiefling was my fantasy fashion option. So we did a tiefling doing some lovely haute couture stuff. Yes. We have like 5,000 points gets you a permanent spot on that inner wheel, which basically anytime it comes up with the RSVP in your name, I have to draw whatever you specified for me to draw. If you're in the chat, I'll ask you direct. If not, it'll be like whatever filler that you did in case. Like, my brother's on there and he had me do what he's like. He likes chibi history. So this is the Mouse King from Nutcracker. Yeah. Other things. Did Allie Hallie on here? No, Allie Hallie has one where it's kobolds, so I could drop whatever kobold I feel like doing. Oh, here's another example of one from my Burbro. So that was fun. But yeah, so this is an example of my my sketchbook. Oh, hey, you haven't seen it. Okay. So yeah, this is another example of one that my brother's redemption. My brother's redemption. Um, this is an example of one of his wheel things. This is another one, which is the Mouse King from Nutcracker, since that was a recent date in history. He's a big history nut. What other options are there? Most of them, it's just like for 30 minutes I have to draw some random thing, which is always fun. What do we do? This is another one. This was an anatomy study from yesterday. And since I don't like my noses, it was a chance for me to do nose studies. What else? Well, this is art history. We did a piece from Rococo. This is another one from yesterday, which was a random character, which I have about 1 million of those. What else? Another random, yeah, fantasy fashion. That's another one. I did a tiefling the last time too. All right. That's another one. We did some designs for a webcomic idea I have. So yeah, lots of fun stuff. It's like I don't know what to draw. Well, let's help with that. Yeah. So yeah, it gives me a chance to like flex my creativity and not be bored. Oh, this is one that was off. I think this was off stream, but it was a chance for me to kind of tinker and play and more fun stuff. Trying to come up with like a stream avatar thing, and I kind of really like how this one turned out. With my smudge kitty right there. What else? I was testing out a brush there. More shenanigans. Oh, so many shenanigans. Yeah, a lot of these just end up being like, I'm testing out a brush. Don't mind me. Oh, this was fun. This was a import of a 3D model that I did because I needed it for one of my pinups, my pinup calendar. So, yeah. But yeah, there's a tiefling lady. 2 more spots in the sketchbook. Oh yeah, I also collect everything I do in a sketchbook and put it up for free on my website. So, this is what we started out our day with. Was this delightful pose. So, actually kind of like this. I may have to come back for this for a bit. But yeah, that's the kind of stuff that I've been doing on the channel. Fridays is kind of like a free for all, fuck around, find out kind of day. So I'll get back to working on my calendar probably on Monday. If I don't do it this weekend, I'll show you the latest. This is the latest pinup that I'm working on. So yeah. Oop. There's the aforementioned altar that I was working on. And this guy right here. Keeping myself busy during break. So I can handle. So it's like my brain goes after about 3 days is like you need to be productive, and I'm like, all right, I guess. Is this exact? No. Did I have fun with it? Yes. Clearly. What's going on? What am I doing with his hand over here? What is even going on? Alright. I need to stop. Because my hand says, no! No more! I cannot handle these more shenanigans. Shenanigans. Okay. Excuse me. Yeah, it turns out 4 hours is about as much as my hand can handle in one sitting, so. Alright. I'm going to go to roll credits. Alright. Thank everybody who stopped in to watch. Super duper appreciate it. Very much so. Go stretch. I will stream again for certain on Monday. What day is today? 20th? 22nd? 23rd? Somewhere there. Yay! I'm so glad you came in, Imperial. I love it. And Panda, thank you so much for chilling and hanging. Everybody, super, again, super duper appreciate it. Does make the stream go by a lot smoother. Have somebody to talk to and yak at while I art, which is my favorite thing. So, until next time, friends, please take care of yourself. Be good to yourself, especially the holiday seasons. I know are not a lot of people's favorites, and these ones have been particularly rough. So, um, I hope you are all doing as best you can in the circumstances. So, until then, until Monday, I will catch you later. Bye. Love you. Bye.